Hey guys, welcome to Starcastic Remarks, along with Chris to my right and James to my left. My name is Ryan. We are the official Dallas Stars podcast of the Hockey Podcast Network. We want to thank DraftKings for being our sponsor. Go and use that promo code THPN the next time you go and use their app. Stars lose by a final score of 5-1 tonight, you guys. We're not going to keep this long because, honestly, there's not really much to take from this. But what are your initial thoughts coming out of this game tonight?
Only one hockey team showed up to play. I mean, to be fair, in every aspect, the Stars got beat. They got beat 5-on-5, which was almost the entirety of the game. Their goaltending was not good enough to save us from our 5-on-5 play, and we didn't even get on special teams to try and make up for it. So, those are the two things that can still win us games, even when we're playing bad, is our goaltending and our special teams. Our goalie's hurt. Our special teams didn't even get a chance. So that leads to your bad hockey team getting blown out by a team who was playing well.
Yep. James, what do you think about tonight's game?
My reaction is just like the little throw up emoji.
Which is exactly what you did in our group chat.
Yeah, the full-on barfing, not the green face. Once the game, it is full-on barfing.
Yeah. Without a doubt, the worst game the Stars have played this season. By twofold.
Yes, agreed. And coming into tonight's game, there was a lot of hype, at least for me. I was really excited for this one because of everything that's been going on for the Stars. We've been playing really well. We won 3 in a row. Winnipeg is on a 5-0-1 streak going into this game. They're now 6-0-1. It's against Rick Bowness. By the way, just shout out to Rick Bowness. I'm glad that he's okay. He's doing better now after his COVID bout. But it was just not a good game overall for the Dallas Stars, and you could see it right early on in the first period. I'll tell you some of my thoughts from the first period, but there was a lot of stuff you could talk about in the first period.
What were you gonna say, James?
I was just gonna say that this game was even more hyped because of how well our players normally do in Winnipeg. I mean, this was where Robertson scored the overtime hat trick last year, and basically the meme we used for the whole season last year was that. It's like, so this was a lot of Stars fans were hyped for this game, and they just kind of fell flat on their face.
Laid an egg.
100%. Right off the bat, first thing I wrote, Dallas is having problems getting out of their zone. Did not know that would continue for the entire game. Shots were 5-2 Winnipeg early on. Lots of odd man rushes. One of my favorite quotes from Razor tonight was the puck parrot after Wedgwood made that save standing up. That was absolutely hilarious. I've never seen a chance for Wheeler like that before. And then there was a slew of penalties. There was 2 penalties that led to a 4-on-4. It was Lundqvist and Harkins for Winnipeg. I didn't really think it was goaltender interference. Can I get y'all's thoughts on that? Because I honestly didn't think Harkins had goaltender interference.
I don't know. I feel like they felt like they had to call something because the goaltender fell, but I don't know.
And right after that, it's 3-0 Winnipeg, 2-1 Dallas, 2-1 Winnipeg. More D-zone turnovers by Dallas. 6 minutes remaining in the period. Shots are 13-4 Winnipeg. Holy crap. Dallas spending a lot of time in their own zone. I didn't think it was that terrible of a period just because Wedgwood was like standing on his head and making some really fantastic saves. There was a really good fight between Dellandrea and Dylan. It was actually, Dellandrea held his ground for being the smaller of the two guys.
Way bigger than him. I don't know how he thought that was a good idea.
He was trying. He probably sensed what we all sensed as well, in the fact that the Stars were just flat, and maybe he was trying to get something going. And I mean, it was worth a shot, but unfortunately, it didn't lead to anything. At the end of the first period, shots are 18-8 in favor of Winnipeg. Thoughts on the first period?
I would argue this was not a fine period. This was the worst first period the Stars have played by a lot. And a period that we're normally dominant, and they took it to us and punched us in the face. We deserved to be down 2 goals after this first period.
3.
Well, 3. I think the Stars had a pretty good scoring chance the other way and should have scored that one. But either way, Wedgwood made some really big saves in this first period and got a little bit of luck too. So Jets totally outplayed us.
James, thoughts from the first?
I'm right there with y'all. I mean, it's just a complete slaughter, it felt like.
Yeah, I was happy to be 0-0 at that point.
I was too. That was the last thing I wrote down. Was this? It's incredible that it's scoreless right now because one, the Stars had some chances, but Winnipeg just destroyed us in that first period. It wasn't even close. Going into the second period, the first 5 minutes I thought were excellent for the Stars. They came out and they played a lot better than they did in the first period. There was a really good shift by the second and third line in the first minute and a half. Backhand chance for Heiskanen, and it would lead. Oh, excuse me. It would lead to Robertson scoring after a broken play. Hintz is the one that causes all the mayhem, and Dallas goes up 1-0. Kind of
It was
ho hum at this point. But what'd y'all think of the goal?
Yeah, it was like 3 straight icings from Winnipeg. You could tell that we had a lot of pressure on them, and we're just able to capitalize off of their continual icings. It felt like.
I thought we were going to capitalize off of Winnipeg not scoring in the first period. I was like, okay, looks like we're going to steal this game. And 19 seconds later, I was proven wrong.
Before we get into that 19 seconds later, Robertson actually has scored a goal in 6 straight games for the Dallas Stars. So that's not something to gawk at or, push down. That's a really
It
big
is something
deal.
to gawk at.
Well, gawk at in the right way. You know what I mean, Chris. You know what I mean. And then right after that, 3 goals by the Winnipeg Jets. And, I mean, you have to give them full credit. They played fantastic tonight. And Rick Bowness got his team ready to go for tonight's game. First, it was Scheifele on a 4-on-3. Then it was Wedgwood turning the puck over to Dubois. It was a couple of lucky bounces for the Winnipeg Jets that ended up in the back of our net. Wedgwood, please stay in your net. And then Winnipeg would score again by Scheifele, and he makes it 3-1. It was just a brilliant passing play. There was no chance
Terrible
for Wedgwood.
defense.
Yeah, there was some bad defense on that tonight. But any thoughts on those 3 goals for any of those Winnipeg Jet players?
The first goal is understandable to give up. It's a bad play by Lindell. He kind of just lets the puck go through. But it's like, okay, fine. But after that, Wedgwood has this history of after one goal goes in, he gets flustered and lets in it bunches. And
it's the third time this season.
Yeah, third time this season. And it happened the same way that it happened in the Rangers game. He has
exact
a
same
weird
way.
puck handling situation happen, and he folds. And he just gives them another goal. And then the third one is just terrible defending by Lindell and Hakanpää again. Hakanpää gets off his man, stands in front of the net, and then lets a puck go between his skates. I mean, that's embarrassing.
I mean, I really think the first goal Wedgwood was out of position for, but it wasn't his fault, right? I mean, it still goes in. It goes in like 70% of the time. But I think him getting out of position like that flustered him a little bit because he could tell how far out he was.
Yeah.
And then he tries to play the puck like he did in the other game, and it goes from bad to worse straight from a direct mistake from him. And it just feels like we lost all momentum after that. The game was done after that second goal went in.
We didn't even lose momentum, James. Momentum just stopped. It was like hitting a brick wall. It was ridiculous. I'm going to push back a little bit on that. Wedgwood, I don't think the second goal, heck yes, 100%. He might have gotten flustered after that goal. After the first goal, I don't think he got flustered at all. I think it was just a really good play by Winnipeg and a really bad defense by the players in front of him. And then
problem
as for the third goal,
it though is that it's the third time that he's done this. I mean,
okay, but is it really his fault on that first and third goal?
I don't care if it's
think
fault
it is
or not. The problem is that he's done it 3 times in a row now, and history tends to repeat itself. I mean, you can't. And it's not just that he gave up 3 goals in one period. It's 3 goals in like 2 minutes. It's the third time he's done that. You can't do it.
You can't win a game when that happens. I agree with James. It's bad. But also this is our backup goalie, and he's been playing great.
Yes.
In every other situation. So the past 2 games, he's been fantastic. We've blown teams out of the water. So to call on your backup goalie to carry the team whenever the whole rest of the team is playing terrible, it's a tough thing. That's why we're so excited when Ottinger is in net, because we could play bad like we did tonight and have a chance to win. So when you don't have Ottinger in net and you play bad, you should expect to lose by 4 goals, honestly. So I wouldn't say that I blame Wedgwood. I think he did play good, but neither did anybody else. So
No, I don't blame him at all either. It's just frustrating to see for the third time now 3 goals go in 2 minutes.
That's fair.
And that's fair. I just don't like blaming him. I mean, the second goal, 100%, you have to blame him for that. And I think that, if anything, I think that flustered the Stars more than anything, because it was only 1-1 at that point. And I mean, he doesn't fluster that puck, maybe the Stars find some way to push back, but I think that second goal really flustered the rest of the team. And you could point to him for that, but that first goal and that third goal, where there's no way that he had any chance on either one of those. It was especially that third goal. That third goal was just a fantastic play by Winnipeg. Yeah. So,
but that second goal is part of the problem I have with it, because it's the same thing that happened in the Rangers game,
and that's the condition. Yes,
and it's right after the first goal. If it's like 5 minutes later, it's not as big of a deal. I mean, it still is, but it's just that
momentum swings, like you always say.
It turns it so much, and after that, there's just no chance.
Yeah, it's tough to swing that momentum back. Agreed.
Okay, after that, not much going on here. Wedgwood would make a good save on a high slot shot by Kyle Connor, which Kyle Connor is a very good sniper, so it was a great shot by him. The Winnipeg forecheck is just relentless. I mean, after that third goal, it was just straight downhill. It was never spending any time in the offensive zone for the Stars. And at 2 minutes and 50 seconds, I believe it was Josh Bogorod said 11 and a half minutes had passed since Dallas had even taken a shot. They had scored more goals. They had scored more goals than we had shots. Yeah, exactly. And then just to end the period, just to make things even worse, there was a tipped Pionk shot by Menelainen, I think is his name. It was a great tip, great shot. Again, you can't blame Wedgwood for that one. He thought it was going high and got tipped. So it's 4-1 going into the second intermission. Obviously, guys, my opinion, the worst period of hockey by the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, that fourth goal really iced it. I mean, you can see when you're down, what was it, 2? You can see, maybe we get one going the other way. They come back strong in the third period. There's a big hoorah in the locker room. But after the fourth one, 3-goal lead, not doing that in 20 minutes.
Yeah. And honestly, I thought the first period was worse. The Jets just scored in the second period.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Stars did have less chances in the second period too, though.
That was my thought process.
Other than the first 3 minutes.
But yeah, they had zero pressure at all, other than it wasn't even the first 5 minutes. It was the first 3 or 4 minutes, and that was about it.
It was 3.
So,
then the third period happened and someone scored. Cool. Yeah. The Stars didn't show up in the third period either. It was the same team all 3 periods. No chance.
I literally wrote 2 things the entire time.
Not what we're talking about.
Other than the Stars got a power play, and that was probably the worst power play I've ever seen in the entire season.
When the game's over.
It was so frustrating in the third period too. I mean, anytime the puck touched someone's stick, it was like instantly 5 feet in front of them, and they lost the puck instantly. It's like no one was skating with the puck. It was over.
I remembered what I was gonna say. The 4 is like the new 3. You remember how a typical hockey game is if you score 3 goals, you're typically gonna win the game. It's not 3 anymore. It's typically 4. So if you get to 4, you're gonna win the game. 3, more than you probably 90%. Still will, but still, 4 is the new 3 for. I think it's across the NHL, honestly.
All right.
Third period, nothing happened. They scored an empty net goal.
Major talking point on the night was the refs took a break.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
they didn't call
coffee
anything.
break and a smoke break. Yeah.
There was 2 power plays, and they were at the end of the game when it really didn't matter at all. And then there was that 1 4-on-4 in the very beginning, which was weird. And it's not due to lack of stick infractions, because there were stick infractions all over the place, both ways.
On both sides, yeah.
Yeah. So it overall, it's probably good for the Stars that we're not getting stick infraction. Well, actually, no, it's not. Our special teams has been great. But it's good for the first time we didn't get 3 penalties. But this is what frustrates me about the NHL, is that we've had a consistent, while we've not liked it, it's been consistent for the first 12 games. Our stick infractions have been called. We've been getting lots of penalties. This game, none of those are called. That's just inconsistent.
Oh,
That's just the refs not doing their job. This is not the same game that we played last game. It was different. It played completely different. And it's, in my opinion, unfair to expect athletes to adapt to that every single game, because you're going to need different styles. Different styles are going to be preferred when refs are calling games differently. It's not a fair way to deal with it.
Okay, guys, what happened in tonight's game? I'm going to ask an easy question. It's a softball question. Should the Stars be worried about a game like this, or is this a one-off and we shouldn't be worried about it?
This is a one-off. You shouldn't be worried about it. Another 2 days, we'll play the worst team in the league, and we better beat them by 6. So
Yep.
after 12 great games by the Stars, not great, they weren't all great, but they were all competitive. After 12 competitive games by the Stars where they showed up every single night, they had an off day. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Move on.
And here's my thought coming into this game is like last year, I would have been very much hacked off, pissed off at the effort that was shown tonight. But because of the other games that I've seen, and I talked about this, the previous 2 seasons, is if we have a lot of games where we're competitive and, the other team's just better than us and we give it our all, I'm fine with that. And we've had games where we've given it our all and we lost. The Toronto game, I thought there were some things we could have done better, but whatever. And, it's an 82-game season. You're not going to have a competitive game every single game. It's just not going to happen. There's going to be nights where you're off, where you're not feeling it, and this is just one of them. And thankfully, because of the way that Pete DeBoer has implemented his system, my mental health of myself feels a lot better than it did last year. So I'm just saying.
Ryan.
So, okay, let's just get into biggest loser and biggest winner tonight. This might be kind of a hard conversation to kind of pick, but who would y'all pick as biggest winner, biggest loser?
Not for me. Biggest loser, Esa Lindell. Terrible all night long. Was on the ice for 3 goals against. I mean, 2 of the goals, the passes went right next to his skates or between his legs. So he was pretty awful for a guy whose his only upside is he's a good defender. And he was not a good defender tonight.
And he only played 18 minutes.
Too. Yeah, I was about to say that. He had the second least amount of ice time as someone who's supposed to be our lockdown defensive defender. That's unacceptable for the style that he played. That's like Foxa not checking and not forechecking. Like, that's his role on the team. You should be able to do that night in and night out. Esa Lindell should be able to play lockdown defense night in and night out. He doesn't have to score. He doesn't have to play on the power play. He needs to be good on the penalty kill and he needs to be solid defensively. He was neither. So,
biggest winner
for me,
mm-hmm.
The biggest winner is Bones. He figured out how to get a team to score goals. So maybe the Jets really are just better at executing than the Stars were last year. I think that is very likely the case because the Stars' expected goals with Bones was very high and they just didn't score, which was crazy. But I think the Jets just execute the system better because they did in the last 10 minutes of the third period. They weren't forechecking. They were just dumping it in and going back. So they were playing Bones hockey, but they were doing it way better than the Stars did.
James, biggest winner, biggest loser?
Biggest loser was just puck handling in general tonight. I mean, they were the stick just sorry, I said this earlier about the third period, but the puck touched their stick and it was instantly 5 feet in front of them and they lost it instantly. I mean, it was all night long. No one could skate with the puck at all. And biggest winner, I'm gonna go Jason Robertson. Extends point streak.
Extends point streak, 5 shots on goal, 17-24 ice time.
He's still dominating. Yeah, he's still dominating when he's on the ice. It's ridiculous.
And should have had 2 goals.
He still
should have had 3 or 4, honestly.
Yeah.
He had a lot of chances that he missed tonight, but I mean, he still scores the only one on the night, and he's the only one who looked dangerous all night long.
The guy's without a doubt one of the best players in the league right now. Top 10 at least right now.
Top 5.
Yeah,
has to be top 5. I wouldn't even put him top 10. He's top 5 and right now, I should say. Right now, he's top 5 in the league in my opinion. Biggest loser for me is just team defense overall. I think the team defense really failed Wedgwood and it failed the Stars tonight. And there wasn't one particular player that I was like, oh my gosh, it was absolutely terrible. It was just everybody. There was missed assignments all across the ice tonight. And for biggest winner, I guess I'll give it to Bowness as well, and just because he gets the one up on his former team, at least for now. So I believe they will play again one more time. I don't remember when that is, but I think it's much later on.
It'll be later.
Yeah, it's obviously not before now. So.
It's not now. Can't be.
Yeah, it's not now.
It's not how time works.
And I guess also give it to Mark Scheifele because Mark Scheifele looked really good tonight.
Yeah,
and I
he
hate
did.
the guy because he's so freaking good.
Oh, I'll give an honor to Appleton. Appleton looked great, and he scored his first goal of the season today. He looked fantastic.
Yep, he had 3 assists coming in tonight's game, and he doubled his points
Yeah,
in
2
the
assists,
season
1
with a
goal.
goal, 2 assists tonight.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, okay. Anything else we need to mention tonight?
I'm done. Let's get off this game. On to San Jose.
Right. Yeah. I would just take the film and burn it, like legit burn it. This was a one-off. It won't happen again.
Just coming back soon. Come back Wednesday to hear us talk about that.
Yep. And speaking of Wednesday, good segue, Chris. Tomorrow we will be having Bruce Levine of The Ticket on for a little while. He's going to talk about the current state of the Stars and some current NHL news that are going around. I don't know if you've been seeing what went on in the hockey world this past weekend, but holy crap, the hockey world kind of blew up. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about how good Mira's been, how we need to be doing with our goaltending situation. Is Wedgwood Cooper rushing it well enough? All that sort of stuff. And that'll be coming up tomorrow. Normally we do it at like 10 at 15-ish. It's going to be earlier. It's going to be at 9 o'clock. So if you want to join us then, we will love to see you then. It will be live at 9 o'clock.
And we'd love suggestions for what to talk about. Tweet us, comment, tag us, whatever.
Yep. And I'll put up a tweet later to either tonight or tomorrow morning asking for questions to see what y'all want to see us ask Bruce Levine. So we'll be having fun with that. Thanks, DraftKings Sportsbook, again for being our sponsor. Go check out StarcasticRemarksShop.com for all of the Sarcastic Remarks merchandise. Chris, I'm still working on the bath mat. Sorry, I don't have that ready yet.
What about the shower curtain?
I have the shower curtain. We're good.
Let's go.
I'm just
Phase
kidding.
3.
I don't have a shower curtain yet.
Dang.
Along with Chris and
Right.
along with James, my name is Ryan. We will catch you guys on the flip side, and we hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening to this. See y'all later.